You know, I'm so surprised on how these power slide. Wow. Yo, what's going on, guys? So, in this video, I'm setting up my very first 875. It's an anti-hero board. Quite a bigger board with a interesting shaped nose here and kind of a bigger, fatter tail. Yeah, I recently just got this from Deluxe, and I had specified that I wanted my regular shape, which is an 8125 with 148 Thunder lights, but I also wanted to set up a cruiser board. So I've been wanting to set up kind of a bigger board, and I also have some rails. So I'll be setting up rails for the first time, and also I'll also be setting up some riser pads. They're made by BBS down in Tijuana with the offcuts of the wood, so it's cool. They're conserving wood, and they got the real branding on there. 5-ply piece of wood. This is a really cool product. I'm excited to try them out. I've actually never skated riser pads before, so yeah, I'm stoked to try these out. I also have some Thunder Standards, why can't I say that properly? Thunder 151s, and I also put Bones bushings in there. The Bones mediums. I've actually never skated Bones mediums. I've tried them on someone else's board before, but I've never actually like installed them on my own setup. So I'm excited to try those as well. And I also have, these are not released yet. I don't even know if I'm allowed to be making the videos, but they sent them to me, and they know, I think they know that I make YouTube videos. But yeah, we have some Spitfire 93 durometer. These are 58 millimeters. So 93s are, and I'll make a separate video about these, but basically 93s are the new formula that they've been working on. I don't know if you guys noticed, but in Andrew Reynolds' story recently, he put a picture of these. He's been working with them back and forth. Apparently, I'm not gonna name names here, but apparently he's very, very particular about the products that he skates. I mean, if you guys follow Andrew Reynolds, you'll know that he's like that, and that's not a bad thing. I think that's what makes him a boss, is that like he's very in tune with his setup and what products he rides. So apparently it's been a lot of back and forth to get the formula right for these, but these are essentially going to be a softer wheel, but that also is able to power slide. So I'm interested to see how these are going to skate. I'm excited to set these up. So these are a much bigger wheel than I'm used to, but seeing as we're going with the bigger setup in general, I think these should be a really good wheel for this setup. So 93s, 58 millimeter big, and they're radial, so nice contact point. I'm stoked to get into these. I also have Alvear grip here. What's cool about Alvear, and I don't know if that's the case for all of the rest of the grip companies, but this comes 9 inches wide, so it fits quite nicely on a larger board, and it's long enough as well, so the sheets you get. I don't know what the other ones come with. When I was down in Cali recently and had that conversation when Seva gave this to me, he's like, yeah, they're 9 inches wide. We wanted to make sure that they fit on larger boards. What else do I got? I have Pedro Delfino's Bronson G3s here. Yeah, I've been going with Bronsons lately just because I feel like I've seen the most results as far as like how long they last. So yeah, really digging Bronsons, and the price point's pretty good too. They're 39 Canadian, which is good bang for your buck, because some of the bearings out there are pretty expensive. But yeah, let's get into setting this up. I don't actually know all the dimensions for this specific board. I actually mentioned it in my previous video where I was unboxing my Deluxe box, but I know that it's over 32 inches long. It has 14.75 inch wheelbase. I know that, which is quite long, kind of a long wheelbase, but kind of makes sense for this setup, more of like a cruiser shape. I don't plan to do flip tricks and stuff with it, although we might try and do one later. We'll see. I've never actually skated an anti-hero board, and I've never like been a, I guess, huge fan with their kind of Eagle logo. It's never like called to me per se, but I'm actually really digging it, and I feel like it's really suited for the setup I'm setting up here. So yeah, let's start by gripping it and then going from there. I really like the way that this Alvear grip lays down on the board, even in kind of like colder weather. Like right now, it's not super warm out. I think it's like 9 degrees, that's Celsius. So not like super warm and it's been in my like cold storage, but it lays down on the board quite nice. You know, it has the perforation, so even if you get air bubbles, you kind of just like pack it down and they kind of go away straight away, which is really nice. It's interesting putting a big sheet of grip on a bigger board. It's like barely hanging off the edges here, and I just got it kind of on the nose here, if you could see that. So a mistake I used to make is not like lifting the grip tape enough before cutting. It can actually affect your cut. I used to be so bad at gripping or cutting the grip, and now I just try and keep the same angle. Don't force it, let the sharpness of the blade kind of take it through. Just like when you're cutting with a knife, like vegetables and stuff, you want to let the sharpness of the blade do the work. Don't put any extra pressure. That's pretty good. What do you think? Looks good, right? I'm stoked. I'm stoked to skate this thing. So I'm running Mini Logo hardware, and I almost forgot to buy hardware because I went into the shop, bought the riser pads and the rails, and then realized I'm gonna need longer hardware. So this is the longest ones that they had, so I'm hoping it's long enough. I actually haven't even measured it, so I don't even know. The old bang method. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully these are long enough. I'm assuming, dude, I don't even know which direction these go. So there's like a longer side, there's more room here, right? Does that go that way? Let's see. I don't know. It's funny, either way you line these up, there's, I don't know if you can see that, there's overhang either way I put it, which is kind of funny because this is like a real product, right? And then Thunder's Deluxe. You'd think that it would be like a kind of a perfect match, but maybe there's a reason why there's overhang. They want to have overhang. I don't have no idea. What do you think, guys? Am I totally messing this up by putting overhang of the wood on this side? Because then if I like, it gives me extra base plate, right? In theory, this should give me like a little pad spacer, which is better for nose slides. Yeah, I'm gonna rock that because the wheels are bigger. I think having the base plate or this riser pad stick out that way makes more sense. But I could be totally wrong. Dude, first time setting this up. So if I mess this up, comment below. Well, these Mini Logo hardware were definitely long enough. We're getting perfect amount of poke there. Trucks are on, riser pads are on. Now is the fun part, the new. That is a big wheel. Wow. I think even with this spacer, I'm probably still gonna get wheel bite. It's not a huge gap. I'll have to put some wax in those wheel wells. I was actually just on YouTube before coming out here to see how I should best install these, and people have been saying like 2 inches in is best if you like to do like board slides and different combinations, like board slide to feeble type stuff. And if they're further out, then it's better for like grabs and stuff because you have like something to grab onto. I don't really do that many grabs, you know, time to time I'll throw in early grab indies or indies, but I think I'm gonna put them in about 2 inches. Place skateboard on stable surface, truck side up, the rib bones in desired location and position to avoid wheel bite. Do not use an electric drill. only hand tighten. Interesting. Bones, I have an idea for you for your product. Why don't you put a measuring scale on the instructions? That way someone has a guideline of how to set this up. That'd be super helpful. You know, it could say like 1 inch if you like to do grabs, 2 inch if you like to do board slide combos. Little suggestion, but let's just kind of eyeball it. There we go, it's set up. Look at this monstrosity. Look at these big ass wheels. Kind of sick having a board with rails, never have. Did a pretty good job considering I didn't measure. It feels like one side's maybe a little bit more space here, but that's okay. Yeah, that's the board. It's the nose. If we look at the concave, pretty nice here. And then we have the tail. Let's go push around and skate on it a little bit. They power slide. Yo, this is kind of a trip. Yo, they're actually like really slippery. I did not expect that. So they have like the feeling of a very soft wheel in the way that they sound and then the way that they feel under my feet. I don't know if it's because like it's a brand new wheel, they're that slippery, but they almost feel more slippery than my 99s do, which is kind of crazy. What a weird trip. Like in my mind, it feels like they should grip just based on like the turn. The turn feels really grippy. Like I don't feel like I don't have confidence in my turn. I'm still getting used to these Bones bushings. They kind of feel, this kind of feels kind of tight, to be honest. I was hoping for a more of a turny feel, but I think as they break in, they should be good. But dude, honestly, this feels kind of crazy. But yeah, let's try another power slide here. You know, I'm so surprised on how these power slide. Wow. All right, now let's compare it to my 99s to see what that feels like. All right, 99s. Let's see what these feel like. Oh my God. These feel so much slower, so much louder, so much slower as well. I think it's obviously due to like the fact that it's a small wheel. The fact that it's a small wheel, obviously these feel really slow. But the way that those feel, and it's exactly the feeling, this is exactly the feeling that I've been searching for. Cause like where I live, there's like a really nice, long, smooth sidewalk on Point Grey Road. There's oftentimes like a lot of dogs that walk along there, and these wheels, these 99s, make way too much noise. So having like this 93 that's pretty silent, big, can carry you long distances, but also still be able to power slide and have that nice comfort and confidence. I'm really stoked. These are unreal. I'm excited to see how they skate. But yeah, let's go over to the curb because I want to see what the rails feel like. So do some board slides. Also to see like what a slappy nose feels like with this like base plate sticking out. I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if the base plate's supposed to stick out, but let's go test it and see what it's like. Wow. So first thing I noticed is that it sounds completely different. It sounds a lot more like rough. Check out like the first few grooves here. I don't know if you can see that wax coming off on the rails. Definitely sounds cooler. Sounds louder, more aggressive. Let's see if we can hold one a little bit longer. These wheels feel really good. Like a softer wheel could potentially bite on top of the ledge, but I'm having no issues with this. It feels really good. I feel like I can hold it longer. So let's try to do it one a little bit longer, and then we'll do slappy nose. I'm getting a bit of stickage, but it might also be because of the spot of the curb that I'm trying it on. It has a little bit less wax, so let's move it down a bit and try and get it on the spot that's like a little more broken in. Yeah, I'm really surprised on the pop feel of these. So let's do a couple like 180s, back 180s, and some basic tricks, maybe a kickflip. I know you guys want to see a kickflip. Maybe a tray flip. You guys might want to see a tray flip as well. So let's try some basic tricks and see what it feels like, and I'll talk about how the wheels feel so far on the board. I'm like picking up way too much speed. I'm not used to how quick these wheels are. Oh my God. Also the timing, like I take flight. Having these bigger wheels and all this like extra grip underneath my feet because it's like a bigger board, my shoes are big, it's just gripping it all. I feel like I'm just floating, and like I'm up there in the air a lot longer than I expect to be though. So it feels weird, but let's get a couple. Up so much goddamn speed. Hopefully that caught it. Yo, it feels comfortable. Like it's actually not that hard to get used to a bigger board underneath my feet. The only thing that feels different is the float time and just the speed of the wheels. All right, one tray flip. I'm sure you guys want to see a tray flip, so let's do a tray flip. First try. I'll take that. Yes, sir. Guys, I'm really stoked on this setup. I'm like so surprised on how good these wheels feel. Like I'm almost considering getting a pair in smaller for like my regular 52mm size. But yeah, I'm actually gonna continue skating these. So I'm actually meeting up with some friends. We're going to Courts. Gonna get a session in there. I don't think I'll film it. I think I'm kind of done for the day. There's a lot of filming today. I think I've been filming for the last 2 hours and like barely skated. A big portion of that was just setting up the board. But yeah, this thing's sick. I'm stoked on it. Stoked on all that tray flip that I got. It feels good. But yeah, let's meet up with people at the Courts and maybe get a clip for Instagram. We'll see. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. I'm feeling inspired these days and like kind of pumped up to make a push again to making more videos for you guys and more videos for me. Like this, it soothes my soul to be in this creative mindset. And ultimately, like I needed the time to like focus on work and making money. Cause like if I'm not feeling like I'm making money and feeling secure, then I'm kind of like stressed and I don't feel in the mindset to speak to a camera and make content. So that's kind of partially where I've been at. But yeah, anyways, I don't want to go too deep into the personal stuff, but yeah, just stoked to be out here filming again, and I appreciate you guys watching. For the ones that are still watching, you guys are the OGs, and I love you guys. So we'll catch you on the next one, whenever that is. But yeah, have fun on your boards, and that's it. Thank you. Peace.